Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yeah. Sounds so wonderful. No Age live on KEXP, playing an all-ages show tonight at the Vera Project right next door to KEXP. And it sounds so great to hear you playing those new songs. Thank you so much for coming by today.
Oh man, thanks so much for having us.
There is no denying the great rock sound that this group has, the punk aesthetic. There's so much energy. I love the loud songs and the passion. But one of the things I've always loved about No Age is the melody in amongst all of this loud energy and noise. And that is oh so evident on this new album, Snares Like a Haircut. In addition, you just always so creative with your songs. You work ambient and experimental sounds in what seems like a very straightforward style of music. And I'm wondering what it's like when the two of you are making music. What does that look like? Do you create that space for that experimentation? And does that take time? Can you do that on the road?
What does it look like?
Paint us a picture of making, writing and all.
We put our foreheads together, close our eyes. Music comes out. I don't know how it's done. It's all mystical.
I think there's a lot of kind of play and just sort of exploration in what we're doing, and it's not it's not always so planned out. It really feels like, what are we feeling? What do we like? What does this thing do? What if I press that? And kind of looking for those mistakes and kind of keeping our minds open and our eyes open and ears open for these sort of things that wouldn't normally happen. Just kind of like listen for the little things and build around those, like build around the mistakes, build around the odd sounding things. Like, ooh, okay, less of the normal stuff. Like, okay, we know what all that sounds like, but what's that weird thing when at the end of the song that one thing happened? Sample that, loop that. Now that's gonna be the whole song.
You two have known each other for a super long time, played together. Is there kind of a shorthand that works when you're creating songs, making music, just jamming together? Playing a live show?
Raised eyebrows.
a lot of eyebrows, a lot of finger points.
Yeah, I was saying this earlier to somebody, but I feel like we've developed more of a psychic connection musically, and the speaking doesn't sometimes lend itself. It's not the best way to communicate when we're making music, so we have to rely on this other connection that has been honed and crafted.
Yeah, I think there's a certain kind of language we have of stuff that we know that the other one likes or that the other one kind of does, so it's almost like that saying it's like, just do that thing, like, and then you'll do something here, and that's, it's sort of implied what we bring to the table.
I had the great pleasure and good fortune to meet you about 8 years ago when you were playing in Poland at the OFF Festival, and we actually spent some time chatting, and it was really interesting to hear about all of the creative pursuits that you have outside music, and also that kind of dovetail with music, a lot of different art projects. Your last record came out 5 years ago, but knowing what I know about you, I can't imagine that you've just been sitting on the couch watching TV. I know that you're both dads now, and of course a little bit of touring in there, but can you talk about some of the other fun, exciting projects that you work on outside of the band or kind of in conjunction with the band?
Yeah.
Outside of No Age, I mean, we have, I have a sort of art practice that doesn't involve rock music, but it still has a very similar way of approaching art. And I think we've created a way to create art and music very specifically together. And it's something that I've taken with me on everything. Even being a parent, I feel like learning tricks from the road or from Randy or from the smell, All Ages Club in LA, all these lessons have seeped into various parts of our other lives.
You mentioned the smell. I do want to hear from you too, Randy, but that's been a really important part, it sounds like, of your growing up in your community. DIY places are so important to sort of igniting passion and creativity, and it's so hard for them to stay alive. Some come and go. I was asking one of our young local music show host, what are some of the most exciting places now? And she asked illegal or legal, because, some of them are just holding on there, but they play such an important role in creativity and bringing up young people. Can you talk a little bit about The Smell? I know you've talked about it a million times in interviews, but it's really played an important part, and it's still around, isn't it?
It is still around, yeah. It's on the verge of closing whenever the new owners decide they want to tear the building down. But The Smell is an important place, and it's been around for 20 years, and it exists, I think, in this anarchic type of environment where the people involved create their own environments and they make art and music together, and there's really no sense of wrong that happens. There's no dogma. It's just a space to create. So, I mean, it's been really important for us, and I mean, instead of going to college, I went there.
We were talking too earlier, like our sound man that we brought with us on, or that we've been bringing with us on tour for a long time, and he started doing sound there at The Smell, at a really young age, and now he goes out with not just us, but much bigger bands, and he's created a professional career out of an experience, when in his late teens, early 20s, that you wouldn't have been able to get anywhere else. So you can't just walk into your rock club and say, "Hey, I'm 19 or I'm 16 and I want to learn to do sound." But The Smell has that kind of vibe. I did a solo show there 2 weeks ago, and I was talking to the sound person out front before the show, and he's like, "When?" He wasn't familiar exactly with what I'd done, but he's like, "When was the first time you played The Smell?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know, about 2001." He's like, "Wow, that's the year I was born." So he's 17 years old doing sound, and just it's his fourth show, and it was that's just amazing to me. I think it's the ability to learn on the job, and also just trust kids and trust human beings to at the best of their to give the best of themselves, and to sort of understand that. I think in the sense of anarchy, it's like people have good in their heart, and this is a place where it relies on that. There's not so many rules in place, assuming that everybody's bringing their negativity or their baggage into it, that everyone's going to bring their best, the artists, the audience, the people that volunteer to work there. So it's a really great experiment to kind of just see that when you don't put barriers on people, how far can they go?
It's so important to have access to that kind of discovery and that burgeoning creativity. And I think that the artists get as much from the audience and from that learning experience as the people watching. And I was going to ask if you still go to The Smell after so many years, and again, being parents now, and you said you're still playing shows there. Yeah.
It's really, it's inspiring. You know what I mean? It's the kind of thing where I still get excited being in that environment. Like you said, it just kind of, the feeling that anything can happen. And also, when I was, 17 when I first went there, and just said, I think I could do this. It was the first time I'd been to a show and thought, I could see myself not necessarily not on stage, because it wasn't a stage, but just the person playing music, and so I think there's always that feeling of what if you're watching a band or an artist perform there, that you could do that. There's no separation, and I think that's really fun to see.
When you mention, I think I can do this, I love how you're always pushing boundaries and not afraid to try new things. And your last album, An Object, seemed like a very different effort than this one. You guys did everything on it, and I understand you recorded it and wrote it differently. How was the making of this new project, or this new record, different from the experience of the last one?
We had a lot of time off. This one we approached really in a way that seems so straight that it was odd for us. We wrote songs, toured them, came back and recorded them. I don't know if we'd really had done that before.
Yeah, I think it was a way just to kind of tap into that, what happens when we sit down and just play music? That's sort of the document. This record is sort of the document of that, of just us, without any kind of larger,
I shut my brain off. I let my arms do everything.
It was about, kind of getting together and just playing music and see what it sounds like, and that's kind of what this record is.
Well, it sounds awesome. The result is Snares Like a Haircut. It's out on Drag City Records, and we'd love to hear more from it.
Awesome.
No Age, live on KEXP.
This next song is the title track off our new record.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
No Age live on KEXP. That was fun.
Thanks so much.
I have to ask, where does Snares Like a Haircut come from? I'm trying to put an image to that in my mind, and my mind goes nuts.
That's the right response. I think that's what we were looking for. It's deceptively stupid. So whatever your thought is probably much more interesting and complicated. It was really something silly and stupid we were talking about when we were touring earlier last year, when we were making this record and we were playing the songs live. And we're a bit of, some music geeks here, fans of lots of music. And we were having a discussion that the snare sounds from certain eras really date a particular song. That you're going to have like that reverse gated snare sound in the 80s, like Phil Collins or things like that. And then, the 70s kind of had their sort of big, sort of ringy sounds. 60s kind of a Motown sort of, muted, compressed kind of in the pocket snare. 90s, maybe like 90s hardcore, like a piccolo sound. So every era has a snare sound. And we kind of felt like when listening to certain songs, you could almost date the era that the song was made or when the song was made, much the way you could date like a picture, like a haircut. That a haircut's always going to stick out. Maybe fashions change, but that haircut, you're always like, ooh, that's 84 right there. Oh, no, that's somewhere in the mid-90s. Yeah. So you're going to know where a song's from, like, by the sound of the snare. But that was the first kind of funny, that was sort of what inspired it. We sort of wrote it down. It sounded funny. And then I think after now putting the record out and talking about what we've been doing for the 5 years and just kind of...
Sounds nice, too.
Yeah, it sounds good. But I just thought it kind of reflects our thought about time and sort of the passage of time and sort of how do you know where you're at in time. I think, also both being dads now, it's sort of like this time warp of fatherhood or parenting, sort of time's meaningless. It kind of goes away. You're just here today in the present with your family, your loved ones, and it doesn't really... How do you know? How do you know what time it is? How do you know what year it is, how old you are really? You know what I mean? It's all just kind of imaginary, I think, in some ways.
From your haircut.
Yeah, maybe that's it. You have to find those things. You're right, because that's how you know the time is the pictures you have. That tells you the time that was past. But it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't ever really feel like you're in a different time zone. We're all time travelers going 24 hours a day into some weird future that we have no idea about.
That's a great story. I love that story. Snare has
all true.
many definitions. It can be a noun and a verb. So,
right.
I had a lawnmower and traps flying in your hair and all kinds of crazy stuff. Do you have more music, or was that our big grand finale?
That was it.
Yes, okay. Yeah. That's what I thought. Man, it's always so great to hear you play live. Tonight you play an all-ages show, which is awesome, at the Vera Project.
Right there.
Right next door. You can just hang out here all day. Go out to La Marzocco, light in the attic. It's always so great to see you. The new album sounds fantastic. And again, it's called Snares Like a Haircut, out on Drag City. Thanks again so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You've got it tuned to KEXP Seattle, live here with No Age. Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?